What if I told you that millions of football fans are already making the exact same mistake people made before the 2002, 2014, and 2022 World Cups? Because every 4 years, the same thing happens. The experts appear, the bookmakers publish their favorites, the media crowns its champions, and millions of people repeat the same story. This team is unstoppable. This generation is the greatest. This national team already has one hand on the trophy, and then the World Cup begins and everything falls apart because the World Cup is not the Champions League, it's not a 38 game league season, it's not a competition where the best team always wins. The World Cup is a machine designed to destroy predictions. It's where giants fall, where heroes fail, where favorites disappear, and where an entire nation can wake up heartbroken because of a single match. Today, June 11th, 2026, the FIFA World Cup officially begins. The biggest tournament on the planet, the event that stops entire cities, that divides families, that creates legends, and that destroys careers. But while millions of people are talking about Argentina, Brazil, France, Spain, or England, there's something very few people are noticing. There is one national team quietly growing in the shadows, a team that almost nobody considers the main favorite. And that is exactly why it could become the most dangerous story of this World Cup. Stay until the end because I'm going to reveal which team that is, and I guarantee many people won't agree with me. The 2026 World Cup is not just another World Cup. For the first time ever, we will see 48 national teams competing, more countries, more matches, more pressure, more surprises, and possibly the most unpredictable World Cup in history. Never before have we entered a World Cup with so many unanswered questions. Because this time, there is no team that looks completely dominant. There is no team that makes everyone think. We already know who will be the champion, and that makes this World Cup extremely dangerous for the favorites. Because when everyone believes you are invincible, pressure becomes your greatest enemy. And that is where our first big question begins. Can Argentina win the World Cup again? Argentina arrives with a massive advantage. They know what it takes to win, they know what it feels like to perform under pressure, and they possess a mentality that very few national teams have. When a team wins the World Cup, something very interesting happens. The players stop chasing a dream because they have already achieved it, and many times that small detail changes everything. History is full of champions who were never quite the same again, because defending a World Cup can be even harder than winning it. Now, Argentina still has talent, it still has experience, it still has a clear identity, but it also carries enormous pressure, because now it is no longer the hunter, now it is the hunted. Everyone wants to beat them, everyone wants to be the team that eliminates the reigning champion, and that turns every match into a final. Many fans believe Argentina will go very far once again. Others believe their cycle is coming to an end. And that is precisely the beauty of football. Nobody truly knows. But if there is one national team that inspires fear even before the tournament begins, it is France. Because France has spent years producing talent at an absurd rate. It feels like a new superstar emerges every season. Every squad announcement looks like an all-star team. And every tournament begins with the same question. How is anyone supposed to stop them? However, there is a huge difference between having the best players and winning a World Cup. Football history is full of star-studded teams that ultimately failed, because talent alone has never guaranteed a World Cup trophy, and when everyone expects you to win, pressure can become an unbearable burden. Imagine entering a tournament knowing that any result other than becoming champions will be considered a failure. That completely changes your mindset. That completely changes the way you compete. And many times, that pressure ends up destroying extraordinary teams. Now let's talk about Brazil, because if there is one nation expected to win, it is Brazil, the heaviest jersey in world football, 5 World Cup titles, decades of history, generations of legends, and millions of fans who accept nothing less than victory. But that is exactly where the problem begins, because every World Cup starts the same way. Brazil appears among the favorites. The experts place them at the top, the bookmakers place them at the top, the fans place them at the top, And then the decisive moment arrives, and something happens, a mistake, an injury, a bad performance, an unexpected goal, and suddenly the dream disappears. Brazil has spent years trying to reclaim the throne, and the big question is whether this will finally be the World Cup where they succeed, or whether we will witness another painful chapter for one of the greatest national teams of all time. And now comes the uncomfortable part, the part that creates arguments, the part where many people probably won't agree. Because every World Cup has overrated teams, teams that receive more attention than they truly deserve, teams that live off history, teams that live off media hype, teams that constantly generate headlines, but when the moment of truth arrives, they simply do not have the level required to lift the trophy. Some fans point directly at England. They say that every 4 years we hear the exact same story. This is the generation. Now they're ready. Now they can finally win. And then reality turns out to be very different. Others believe Spain receives too much confidence. Others believe certain national teams live more off their reputation than their current performances. And here's what I want you to do. While you're watching this video, think about the most overrated team in the World Cup and leave it in the comments because I'm sure there will be a war of opinions. But now we arrive at the most important point. The team nobody wants to admit can actually win. Not because they're bad, not because they lack talent, but because they don't generate as many headlines. They don't dominate the conversations. They don't attract as much media attention. And that is exactly what makes them so dangerous. Because while everyone is watching the favorites, they are working in silence. While everyone is talking about superstars, they are building a team. While everyone else feels pressure, they play with freedom. And history shows that World Cups often reward exactly that. The most famous team doesn't always win. The most expensive squad doesn't always win. The team with the most followers doesn't always win. Many times, the winner is simply the team that arrives at the perfect moment. And when that happens, the entire world is shocked, even though the signs were there all along. My prediction is simple. One of the major favorites will not reach the semifinals. A team that millions consider a title contender will be eliminated far earlier than expected, and a national team that barely appears in most predictions today will go much further than anyone imagines. Because that's what the World Cup is all about. Chaos, emotion, surprises, impossible stories, and moments that are remembered forever. Today, the 2026 World Cup begins, and within a few weeks, millions of people will celebrate. Millions will cry. Millions will claim they always knew what was going to happen. But the truth is, nobody knows, and that is why we love this sport. Now I want to hear from you. Who will win the 2026 World Cup? Which team will fail? Who will be the biggest surprise? Leave your predictions in the comments because I'll be reading every response, and we'll see who was right when the World Cup comes to an end. Because one thing is certain, the story has already begun, and the next world champion is about to write its name into history forever. Before we end this video, I want to hear from you. Who do you think will win the 2026 World Cup? Which team is being overrated? And which nation could shock the entire football world? Leave your predictions, analysis, and debates in the comments below. I read as many comments as possible, and some of the best opinions might even be featured in future videos. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and supporting this channel. I am building this project from the ground up, and right now this channel means everything to me. Every view, every comment, every like, and every subscription genuinely helps more than you can imagine. My goal is to create a community where football fans from all over the world can discuss the biggest stories, controversies, and moments in the game we all love. So if you want to be part of that journey, hit the subscribe button and join us. The 2026 World Cup has officially begun. New heroes will rise, favorites will fall, records will be broken, and history is about to be written. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And one last thing before we go. Right now, every football expert, analyst, former player, and commentator has their own prediction for this World Cup. Some believe Argentina can do it again. Others think France has the strongest squad. Many are backing Brazil to reclaim its throne. And there are even experts who believe the next world champion is a team that nobody is talking about yet. But if football has taught us anything, it's this: the World Cup doesn't care about predictions, it doesn't care about rankings, and it certainly doesn't care about what the experts say. That's why this tournament is so special. Because every 4 years, football reminds the world that anything is possible. Now, I want to hear from you. Who do you think will win the 2026 World Cup? Which team is being overrated? And which nation could shock the entire football world? Leave your predictions, analysis, and debates in the comments below. I read as many comments as possible, and some of the best opinions might be featured in future videos. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and supporting this channel. I'm building this project from scratch, and at this moment, this channel is one of the most important projects in my life. Every comment, every like, every share, and every subscription helps this channel grow and allows me to keep creating videos like this. My goal is simple: build one of the best football communities on YouTube, where fans from all over the world can debate, discuss, and enjoy the biggest stories in football. The 2026 World Cup has officially begun. New legends will be born, dreams will be shattered, favorites will fall, and history is waiting to be written. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.